Moving on, may we hear the respective positions of the various agencies and organizations invited today. We start with the government agencies. May I recognize the CWC? You are now recognized. Please take the floor.
Good morning, Madam Chair, honorable members of the committee, colleagues. I am Undersecretary Angelo M. Tapales from the Council for the Welfare of Children. First of all, I would like to manifest that the CWC will file a detailed position paper. We are in the process of finalizing it, and hopefully by today we can send it so that the committee can maybe informed of the finer points of our positions. But I will discuss some of our comments on the proposed House bill, starting with Section 3, Madam Chair. Page 2, lines 5 to 8. The PTCA shall be composed of parents, teachers, and duly recognized community group. We added the phrase which preferably may be composed, preferably lang po, no? May be composed of former or current social workers, caregivers, or guidance counselors. Okay. On page 2, lines 14 to 20, we added the word advocating. In the third line, okay, in the phrase in promoting the welfare and protecting and advocating the rights of children. On page 2, lines 21 to 25, PTCA shall be afforded a wide latitude in working and coordinating with school officials, student councils. We added the word related private organizations so as to increase the scope of this particular provision. So aside from coordinating with school officials, student councils, related private organizations, we suggest the inclusion of related private organizations. Article 77A, relating to the principal functions of the PTCAs, particularly on page 3, lines 8 to 10, ensure the full cooperation of parents, teachers, and other community stakeholders. We added the phrase through the provision of capacity building sessions or related activities which may emphasize their role in the efficient and effective implementation of the said development program. The CWC would like to highlight that the members of the PTCAs, like parents, teachers, and those community stakeholders, should also receive technical assistance or capacity building sessions to be able to perform the mandate of their offices, because they have concerns as regards school issues, as discussed by our colleague from the National PTA. And insofar as the CWC is concerned, Madam Chair, we are also focusing on mental health issues, child protection issues, of which the members of the committee or the PTCAs should also be trained or should have at least a basic working knowledge of these issues, Madam Chair. On page 4, after item 8, this is an additional function of the PTCA. The PTCA, if necessary, may seek the assistance of concerned national government agencies and civil society organizations in integrating relevant programs, projects, or activities which may be utilized in the enhancement and strengthening of the development program. Madam Chair, we added this additional function because the PTCA will not be existing alone. There are existing structures, whether inside the schools as mandated by the DepEd, or whether mandated by rules and regulations presently existing, like the local councils for the protection of children. The DILG has many issuances as to the strengthening monitoring of LCPCs at all levels, starting from the provincial, municipal, city, and barangay levels. And 2 of the representatives or members of LCPCs are principals or teachers and parents. So maybe there is a need to check how the PTCs, proposed PTCs, the strengthened PTCs will interact with the local councils for the protection of children from our provincial to barangay levels, because there might be interlapping or common functions. That's why we have to perhaps check so that we can harmonize, prevent duplication, or at least so that they can work together properly. So that's one of our comments also. And of course, for technical assistance and capacity building, since PTCAs will deal with children, a plethora of issues concerning children, maybe asking for technical assistance or capacity building from the DSWD, from the Council for the Welfare of Children, and perhaps the National Youth Commission for older children or the youth would be also helpful to capacitate the members of the PTCAs. Madam Chair, honorable members of the committee, the Council for the Welfare of Children is also proposing the inclusion of a provision in House Bill 7309 that would enable or engender the training of members of the PTCA and other concerned stakeholders in guidance counseling and child protection. Because in schools, of course, we all know, we've attended several hearings also of this honorable committee. We know that there is a dearth of social workers, and in schools there is a dearth of guidance counselors, and those who are knowledgeable of the existing or effective or current child protection policies. Maybe there is also a need to ensure that PTCAs, aside from being parents, teachers, and members of responsible organizations, they should have the basic working knowledge of how to provide counseling and to how to protect children, the basic knowledge of child protection policies. This is relevant, Your Honor, Madam Chair, because under the proposed House Bill, Article 77, one of the focus of a PTCA is I'm quoting the Article 77, PTCAs all over the country shall assist the municipal and other local authorities and school officials in promoting the welfare and protecting the rights of children. End of quote. So it's really helpful to capacitate members of the PTAs on child protection. And since they will assist municipal and other local authorities and school officials in the performance of their duties, or being one of the mandates of their duties, they will have to coordinate with local councils for the protection of children and see how the two bodies can work together for the promotion of the mandate of these PTCAs. And of course, it's stated here in Article 77 also that the PTCAs would complement the work of school officials and student councils. So there's really a pressing need to coordinate, perhaps delineate functions, harmonize, so that points of partnership and collaboration could be identified. One of the principal functions also, Madam Chair, under Article 77A is the raising of awareness on the support and the implementation of child protection policies. So there's really a need to educate members of the PTCAs of current and effective and child protection policies being used by government agencies or those which will be which are supported by national government agencies like the Council for the Welfare of Children, being one of the functions, particularly this is function number 5 of the PTCA. So, Madam Chair, aside from that, perhaps since the training of the members of the PTCA in the proposed House Bill is being charged to the LGUs having territorial jurisdiction of the schools, maybe we can, of course, perhaps check if the SEF, the use of the SEF can be tapped also, to fund the training and the education of these the members of the PTCAs. We will include a more comprehensive discussion in our position paper, which we undertake to submit as soon as possible. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I would like to ask siguro itong, kasi we actually we passed it in 18th Congress. But now, reviewing yung ilang mga points, I believe we should accept yung ilan sa mga pinopoint out ni Yusek Tapales. For example, siguro, tsaka I would like to ask pa yung ilang mga parameters kasi parang yung accreditation and registration, halimbawa dito sa mga community associations and groups, paano natin ma-ensure yon? Yan, Madam Chair. So kailangan siguro may mga details on that. And yung orientation ng PTCA, like capacitating them more, we believe na okay yun eh. So it's not in the bill. So, Madam Chair, we should I'm indulging yung mga authors to recognize siguro or baka kung papayag sila, Madam Chair, na i-acknowledge natin yung ilang mga finer points lang naman, Madam Chair, dun sa Kasi yung totoo naman, PTA kasi luma na eh, di ba? So dito parang meron tayong, we are seeing some mga on how-tos doon sa pagtatayo ng PTCA. Yun lang, baka lang kasi halimbawa, etong Article 77B, role of the DepEd. The DepEd shall formulate the rules which shall advance the purpose of this act. It shall likewise ensure compliance of basic education schools in organizing their PTCAs. Para kasing masasubsume yung mga ibang mga community associations doon sa government So parang hindi siya hindi siya match, Madam Chair. Baka ang pwede natin gawin sa bill ay i-add din yung mga community associations, children's organizations, advocates to formulate yung rules na kailangan para hindi siya nakasubsume doon sa particularly government agency or government mas ganon, Madam Chair. So if the authors will indulge, baka po pwede pong iano natin. And my office will formulate some of the parang wordings po nitong bill para makita natin, Madam Chair.
Okay. So thank you, Rep. Rosas, for your comments, and it is all duly noted by this committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a brief closing remark from the Council for the Welfare of Children.
Okay.
First of all, we would like to reiterate our support to House Bill number 7309 pertaining to the Parents, Teacher, and Community Associations Act. We want, at the end of the day, Madam Chair, at the Council for the Welfare of Children, we want an independent and functioning PTCA. We want the members of the PTCA to be trained and capacitated so that they can help children, among other issues po, so that they can help children. I hope they will be familiarized with child protection policies so that they can protect children, address mental health issues, children's sexual abuse, bullying, and the other pressing concerns facing our children today. We want the PTCAs to harmonize themselves with existing structures, bodies, or groupings inside the schools or inside the communities like local councils for the protection of children, and explore points of cooperation and partnership with them. We also want the PTCAs to work, but of course, at the end of the day, and this is for the CWC po, we want it to be responsive to the pressing concerns of children also. Not just the issues within the school, Your Honor, Madam Chair, because at the end of the day, we want to help children, and there are a lot of issues concerning children today. For the promulgation of rules, we pray that the Department of Education or the NGAs, which will be tasked to draft the rules, to consult the Council for the Welfare of Children. Of course, children should be consulted. CSOs about children should be consulted. So, thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Yusek Tapales.